Sport bikes, touring, scramblers, cruisers, we're all motorcyclists here, right? We have a community, inclusivity is the thing we do, super sports, Harleys, scooters. All right, I can't even say that with a straight face. Who writes this stuff? Whatever it is, or whoever, if you're really lucky that you're riding, it's time for you to sit down with your old Papa Yam and have the talk. That's right, boys and girls, it's time for us to talk about all the reasons why sport bikes are better than cruisers. This video actually is timed very well because RevZilla just put out a great long-form chat about the subject, but it's time for old Papa Yam to chime in, because I know so much. Now, before all of my cruiser kids get all upset, don't worry, we still think you're cool. As long as you're not trying to trot the globe in a Can-Am, you will get nothing but mad respect from me. Make note, however, that the moment I see you on a Can-Am, I will disown you and cast you from the Rossi motherland. My benevolence only goes so far, and trying to pretend a Can-Am is a motorcycle, well, that's just taking it too far, too far. Before we have to confront culling the herd though, let's take a look at 5 reasons sport bikes really are better than cruisers. Are there more than 5? Sure. Is 5 just a random number that I chose? No, it's not. Of course not. See, I've actually put a lot of thought into this, and when it comes to delivering truth bombs, the average person can handle exactly 5 of them before they start melting down. And as a side note, this video is supported by Ridge Wallets. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about them later in the video. And you already know what it is. Subscribe or die, Turbo Busa, Yammie Noob, let's go. In no particular order, here is the first reason sport bikes are better than cruisers. Performance. Sport bikes are built for speed. They're engineered for responsiveness, precision, and power. And let's not forget fun. If you've never ridden a sport bike before, don't be surprised if you pop a few unintentional wheelies while you're trying to master the throttle and clutch balance. Actually, you probably won't. But once you've mastered the more responsive throttle, incredible horsepower, and precise braking, you'll be the proud rider of a performance machine that will literally knock the wheels off of anything even remotely close to the same price range. Maybe not literally, but you get the idea. When it comes to pure dollar to performance ratios, it just doesn't get any better than a speedy sport bike. That's not to say that cruisers don't have power or performance offerings of their own. Most cruisers produce a massive amount of torque. But they're usually low revving engines with old school technology and relatively low horsepower. Sport bikes are loaded with the most modern technology, which makes you wonder if there really is something to be said about that generational gap of who's riding a cruiser versus who rides those pesky little crotch rockets. Up next, let's take a look at reliability. If for some weird reason you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check out the video I posted on the 5 most reliable motorcycles. Pop-out card is right above. It goes a lot more in depth than we're gonna go in this video, but once you watch it, you'll notice an overlying trend. Sport bike, sport bike, sport bike, you get the idea. The big 4, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha, dominate reliability survey findings, with those brands having the highest production and sales of sport bikes. This one just seems like a no-brainer. A lot of it has to do with Japan's mastery of the inline-4 engine, which is the most popular engine used in sport bikes. It's a cleaner, simpler design that boasts unparalleled reliability due to decades of R&D thrown at it, and since cruisers are saddled with the V-twin, they already miss out on a few of those reliability points. And let's face it, Harley-Davidson just isn't winning any reliability awards. All right, moving on to number 3, aesthetics. Come on, try to tell me the last time you saw someone ride on a sport bike and you weren't picking your jaw up off the floor thinking, God, I wish it was me on that thing. Go ahead, I'll wait. There's just something about those smooth, streamlined fairings and aggressive body styles that just get me wanting to rip up some corners. Oh, fairings not your style? Well, that's all right, because you can strip those sport bikes down and turn them into what's known as a naked bike. That's right, boys and girls. Not only do you get sexier looks with the sport bike, but you also get more options. A Harley is a Harley is a Harley, but take the fairings off a Ducati and you've got an entirely different machine. Raise those bars a little too. And I don't know about you, but I like having choices. It's kind of like buy one, get one free, and who in the biker community doesn't love a free bike? Speaking of free motorcycles, we at Yammie Noob are now giving away a second bike. That's right, you heard me. We're giving away not 1, but 2 motorcycles for your riding pleasure. We started our beginner bike build series with none other than the appropriately named Hentai Hornet, but we have recently acquired a second motorcycle for our Patreon giveaways in the form of the Yamaha FZ07. So now we've got that and the Hentai Hornet. Check out the link in the description box below for more details on how you can be one of the lucky bromigos who gets to park one of these buttes in your garage. We got 2 of them to give away, so the odds of it being you just doubled. Math bomb. It's nice to know that that economics degree actually does come in handy from time to time. Reason number 4 on our list is going to excite you lovers of practicality, because with the sport bike you have the ability to ride on the road and the track. Now, maybe this is another one of those is a Can-Am motorcycle debates, but why on earth would you ever want to take a cruiser to the track? I'm sure you could do it, but why? Why would you do that? If you need to feel humble, your old Papa Yam will lay down some spicy tracks for you. You don't have to obnoxiously put your heavy cruiser against a 325-pound racer. So sport bikes dominate on the street and on the track. Regardless of where you're riding, you don't have to worry about scraping metal just because you need to hit a corner at a deep lean angle. Most cruisers are heavy, have limited suspension, and a low ground clearance. So while they may be more comfortable for those long rides, their slow handling, poor clearance, and limited responsiveness take them out of the running to be enjoyable both on the street and the track. Sorry boys, them's just the facts. But since we're already talking about how the world of sport bikes offers more options, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5 on our list of reasons why sport bikes are better than cruisers: variety in engine sounds. This one's a little controversial, but the most common engine sound by far is the inline 4. It's the build configuration that's used in most sport bikes, but it's not the be-all end-all of engine sounds, unlike cruisers. If you're planning to rock a cruiser, I hope you like the rumbly sound of a V-twin, because that's what you're gonna get most of the time. And sure, that rumble sounds like the intro to LaGrange, and it's nice, but so are options, my sweet squidlets. Think of the options. With a sport bike, you can choose between inline 4s, V4s, triples, V-twins, and that list just goes on. Long story short, you just got more options when it comes to sport bike offerings. If you like the style, the riding format, performance, etc., you're bound to find one that suits your riding needs, preferences, and budget. And that's a pretty important one that shouldn't be overlooked. I won't go too far into it, but the average sport bike is going to be your most affordable option. And they're pretty easy to pick up on the old Craigslist. Now we move on to this week's segment of It Came from Craigslist, where I find the good, bad, and weird from your local market. If you've got a bike you'd like me to feature, drop me a line at coalitionmoto@gmail.com. Today we're looking at Reno, Nevada. Let's go. First up, we have the good in the form of this 2006 R6 going for $3,900. Looks like the previous owner did a few tasteful mods, kept it clean, and enjoyed it. 35,000 miles on the clock is a bit high, but it's an older bike, and I'm sure you could negotiate a little bit. Now for the bad, we have this Suzuki Savage for $700. What in the world is this? This thing looks like a great value version of some other motorcycle. This thing looks like the extra in a movie, a stunt double, if you will. The guy says it's a 1986 Suzuki Savage 650 Project Cafe bike. Well, you could certainly say it's a project. And finally, for our weird, we have this VW Trike. $2,000 for this one, boys. Look at it. And of course, every good oddball Craigslist listing, the guy mentions it just needs a little TLC. No, my dude, what this thing needs is an industrial strength crushing. All right, my Yammie lube lovers, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for spending your stall time at work with yours truly. While some people may think it's a crappy way to spend time together, I don't mind. I'm only the best for you guys. Besides, you should definitely be pooping at work. For my full-time working yamsters out there, all that stall time can really add up. Just taking your morning paperwork on the clock in the morning instead of at home adds up to a full week of paid vacation. That's just good time management. And you know what they say, I make a penny while the boss makes a dime, and that is why I poop on company time. If you haven't done so already, do me a solid and hit the subscribe button. If you want to get really fancy, then you can turn on your notifications by tapping the bell, and doing so, you'll be among the first to know anytime I post a new video where I'm going to be more than likely using the phrase smooth nuts at some point or another. And of course, this video wouldn't be complete without a huge shout out to our supporters over at Ridge Wallet. You guys have seen me talk about these wallets before, and they truly are as good as it gets. I always get comments on them when I whip it out in public, and guys who have bought them let me know how sweet they are. So hit up the link in the description, use the code Yammie to get 10% off and update your everyday carry. I'll catch you guys the next time. See you later. Fact. Armadillo shells are bulletproof. In fact, one Texas man was hospitalized when a bullet he shot at an armadillo ricocheted off the animal and hit him in the jaw. It's a whole other country down here. Goodbye.